Hello, friend, and welcome to the channel. On this week's episode, I'm going to turn this here pile of metal into a bed frame. And no, not a truck bed. An actual bed where I lay down to sleep at night. Because to be honest, I've been sleeping on a mattress on the ground for many years, and I'm just tired of it. For one, it gets me off the ground. We'll say a lift kit for my mattress. We'll say that. It's a lift kit for my mattress. And not only will I get my old Ace off the ground, also something maybe to entertain you all, maybe you learn something. So yeah, that's what we are doing today. All right, we got the pieces cut, and I used the old flap wheel to clean them up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Since my old shop lights blew out, it is dark in here, so I might run up the old hobo freight and install new shop lights so I can see. Can't really see that good out here. I know the camera doesn't pick it up, but trust me, it is a lot darker in here than what the camera shows. And I don't know how far I will get on this old project, on the old mattress lift kit here. It is Sunday. I had a really late start because I had to borrow I had to find metal. Found the metal. Then I had to borrow a truck to go pick up the metal. Then a very good friend of mine is starting his YouTube channel, so I went over to his house and he made dinners and talked about YouTube, gave him some insight. So I'm very, very stoked on my very good friend starting his YouTube channel. If you want to learn how to make good side money, that's the channel for you. He's been doing it for a while. He's got all the stats to prove his strategies work. He showed me a rack of cash, so he is killing it. So he is currently right now filming his first video, so there's nothing on his channel just yet. And of course, your boy over here at Filthy Fab YouTube channel had to be the first subscriber. So, if you please will support my dude, his channel name is Kobe Resells. So, at Kobe Resells, and it'll take you straight to his channel. He's got a cool little logo. I think it's cool. So go check him out, especially if you want to learn how to make actual side money. That he'll probably explain how he does it, his stats, the money he made, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he'll go in super depth into how he does it. So I just wanted to give him a shout out on that and help you guys. I'm sure, everybody could use a little bit of side money. So definitely something to go look into if you're into reselling things, sales. Not really sure how to put it, but he will definitely explain it to you. And if you want to learn more, after he posts his first video, comment down below on his video. And whatever you want to learn, I'm sure he's more than willing to explain it to you. Okay, with the shout out being done, I want to show you what I did, like I said. Okay, so how I did this was I took the old speed square here and, set and marked it, cut it out with the old slicer there, and basically the only thing the Milwaukee's good for is a flapper disc. Which, another thing, running low on cutting wheels, and that is my last flap wheel. So, have to take a trip to old Hobo Freight and get shop lights and some more consumables. But this is, let me see if I can do this one-handed here. Oops. All right, so got a 45 to 45 makes a 90. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it makes a 90. So instead of having an open end, you do a 90 and it closes it up. Just a little extra step. Not really a big deal. It's better than trying to fill that in, I think. Everybody has their own opinion, their own little setup. This is how I decided to do it. So I am going to actually run to Hobo Freight and grab some stuff, and I shall return. Not too far. I can never talk when the camera's pointed in my face. Not too sure how far I'm going to get today because today is Sunday and I have to leave in the morning to go to Pennsylvania. I'll probably be there a week. So yeah, it's one of them things, like, basically the only time I'm out here is when the camera's pointed at my face. So whatever you see on camera is what I do in here. I don't get a whole lot of opportunity to play with fire and grinding dust. That's what I'm getting at. So whatever you see on the channel is how much time I get to be able to spend out here, because life's busy, got a full-time job, and travel on top of that at my job. Sometimes it's been kind of slow here lately, but neither here or there. Nobody really gives a shit about my personal, actual 9-to-5 job. So we're just here for filthy fab stuff. Turning junk, a pile of junk, into something somewhat useful is the goal of this channel. And maybe try to get you guys motivated to do your own stuff, you know, because I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there, you know, with your significant other, you know, they want to buy furniture. And I know at least when I was, you know, had a significant other, which I do not now, they would take me to Target or Walmart or wherever they're shopping and show me a piece of furniture that they really love. And I'm just sitting there like, I can build that. But never end up doing, because I didn't have the tools at the time to do anything. But now here we are. We got a welder. We got 2 grinders, one corded that I use the most, and one Milwaukee fuel grinder, which literally ain't really its weight in gold if you ask me, but that's just my personal opinion. I am actually nervous to hang different lights because I don't want to blow those out too, because my wiring in here is very shoddy. But I think with the MIG setting, I'm just going to set it to, I think 24 gauge is where it was happy. This ain't going to be such a big deal because literally it's like, you know, stitch welding, not really that big of a deal. So I'll start out at 24 gauge C, you know, because this stuff is pretty thick. See how it goes from there. Hopefully it works. But you guys will know if it works or not. All right, and we're back from Hobo Freight. And I just want to take the time to show you the before and after. So this is the before. And holy moly, this is the after. Look at the difference. I hope the camera picks this up. Like I said before, no matter what situation, this camera pretty much adapts. So it is a very awesome camera. Now I can see what I'm doing. It is actually super bright in here. Way brighter than what I was expecting, which is brighter is better, if you ask me. Now these things literally look like they're just candles burning, the old OG that was originally in here. Like, I could probably turn them off. Don't even really need them, it seems like. But yes, it is very bright in here. Now I can see what I'm doing, because it's very important to be able to see what the heck you're actually doing. So let's get back to it. Like I said, I am on a super time crunch, so I'm not sure exactly how far along I'm going to get. for the old mattress lift kit. But I had to show the second channel some love because I haven't really been doing that. So basically, the shop lights and purchases I made at Hobo Freight is on the second channel. I don't know really the direction I'm going to go with the second channel. Kind of basically I just figure it out as I go. That's how I did this channel. And it seems to be doing all right. I don't know. To me, I guess it is. Been getting some positive feedback, which I really do appreciate you guys for doing that. Because it seemed like there for a while I was getting a lot of hate, which all comes with it, I guess. I don't know. Still learning as I go. So yeah, let's get to it now that I can see what the heck I am doing. All right, I think we're ready to glue this thing together. Where is my switch? Where? Can't feel it. There it is. All right. Not gonna lie, this is gonna be a little bit of challenging here because all I got is my motorcycle lift and a very, very uneven floor. So this is a very great definition of work with what you got. Because I'm going to tell you right now, excuses ain't going to get you anywhere. At least for me, I can complain all I want, and it's never got me anywhere. And if it has, complaining got you places, let me know. Because it, like I said, hasn't worked for me. All right. See if I can't mount this up and be able to keep it at the same time, because usually I lose it. All right. So I'm going to take me a long one and a short one. See if I can't figure out how exactly I'm going to do this. Try to use this old trusty table here. If I get this to work, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a miracle. All right. So luckily for us, this table goes up and down. Whoop, there we go. Little touchy little thing. All right. So that's going to flop around. We can fix that. All right, now it won't. Helps if you clamp the right thing that you're trying to keep still. So let's try that one more time. All right. Now, I'm going to take my speed square and try and square it up the best that I can. That is way off, so that's always good. You always want to start your foundation with as far off as square as possible. Seems like that's what we're doing. All right. I need another clamp here. That's also good. My clamp is buried underneath all the metal that I'm using, or not using. always a great start here at the Filthy Fab Shop. Or sorry, Filthy Fab. Filthy Fab Shop's my other channel. My apologies. Oh yeah, these clamps work great. Alright. Alright, there's a huge gap there. It's not what we want. Which I was shooting for a gap. That way we have more penetration. Alright, how's that look? Not square at all. Okay. So already, these things are too dang long to fit in between here and my clamp. So that's awesome. Nice gap. So let's see if we can't figure something else out. Let me see. Off to an amazing start, if I do say so myself. How's this little unit? Ha ha! That's not bad. We can work with that. Alright. We're at 20 volts. Pretty sure that'll pop or trip the breaker, so let's turn that down. That's at 14 gauge. Let's go down. What's the next setting here? 16 gauge. Okay, that don't sound bad. So drop it, the power set down to 16 gauge. That drops the volts down to 18.5. 220 inches per minute. Might be able to do something with that. Which I honestly don't think that this being just a what's the word I'm looking for? I'll tell you what, words are hard today. Actually, I feel like words are hard every time I push the record button. Alright, let's give her a little tacky tack. There is quite a gap. I'm not gonna lie, that tack seems pretty cold. Yeah, that's a pretty cold looking tack. So we're gonna jump that back up. Let's jump her back up to 14 gauge. Really didn't like the way that tack looked, just being honest with you. Cause on here at the Filthy Fab YouTube channel, I like to be transparent and honest. Oh yeah, that looks better. Alright, so now we have an L shape. I'm going to put, I am going to be having to move this thing a whole lot, so why not put a little more tacky tacks on it. That should be plenty, hopefully. Good thing I cut. Looks like I, instead of using a cutting wheel, looks like I used a very dull serrated blade. So that's always good. Let's see what we're gonna go from here. Seems okay. I mean, I don't want to be putting any torque on it, obviously. Oop, hit my light. Having a little bit of struggle here, not gonna lie, but that's okay. It's one of those things where you always wish you had more space. And if you don't, you're one of the lucky ones. If anything, y'all should really enjoy my struggles over here. At the very bare minimum, hopefully you guys are entertained. With my struggles of life. All right, come here, little guy. Sure, why not use my drill and drill battery? It's definitely not. Okay, so now it's coming up at an angle, so we're going to crank the table back up. Try and get it somewhat level-ish. We're just over here doing the best we can with what we got. Okay, we don't want this one. That's the short piece. We want another long one. All right. Running into another issue. So that's good. Slide this up some more. Maybe, possibly. There we go. Is that going to be enough room? Put my leveling block back there, aka drill battery. Drill and drill battery. Let's see if we got enough space now. Looky there, we do. So this part's going to be fun because I have nothing to hold this end down here. So what we're going to do a little what I like to call freehand. At this point, I should join a circus with all this juggling I'm doing. All right. A little freehand action. Not doing too good, honestly. Come on now. Work with me. Oop, oop, oop. All right. That actually don't look bad. Believe it or not. Still don't feel the strongest. Not gonna lie. Cool, I'm blocked in now. Let's put another tacky tack here, why not? All right, that should hold. Famous last words as stuff breaks, comes apart, flies off. And obviously, if you noticed, I did not check to see if it was square before I went ahead and glued her together. So it's always good to see the aftermath, see if you're, oh yeah, way off. That is always what you want to see. Plus, not only that, it looks like it's twisted. That is definitely what you want. Not. Perfect. Going swimmingly. So maybe my lift kit will do like them old low riders, what do they call that? The 3-point stance. This is probably what this is going to do. Exactly what we wasn't going for. Hold on a minute. I messed up anyway. Oopsie. Oh well, them tacks are good and strong. I grabbed the wrong piece. Should have grabbed this piece. Oh yeah. Oopsie. That's what grinders are for. Alright, let's try to get that hog leg off of there. Now hopefully it does what I want and breaks right off. Woo! Yeah! Alright. Let's try this again, shall we? Well, perfect. Out of room again. That is literally what we want. To run out of space. Let's see if that gave us enough room. Take my leveling block here, aka drill. Set that like that. Now that was a short piece. So this one might be a little more difficult. What we like around here, difficulties. That's what it seems like anyway. And you know, you always get a nose itch when you're wearing gloves. At this point, I almost think it'd be easier to do this on the floor, even though it's extremely uneven. I think that's what we're going to go with. But it is extremely difficult to do what I'm doing right now. Over the head. Try not to take the very expensive camera out. What makes this even better is the old Everlast welding leads are extremely short, so that's always what you want. Alright. Make sure we grab the right piece here. I am going to say, even though this floor is very uneven, this is probably going to be a lot easier. Should have done this from the beginning, but here we are. You'll live and learn. So now we can actually lay this out. Maybe even do it better on the squaring up part. I'm going to grind that little booger off right there. See what that does, huh? See if this plate will raise this up. Try and do something with it. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah, I can work with that. So honestly, I think this square tubing is kind of twisted. So always makes it fun to work with. I like it right where it's at. Not gonna lie, it is being a lot more difficult than what I'd like. That's okay. We love the struggle around here, don't we? I'm sure this thing's not even close to being square. Hey, that actually ain't bad. It actually ain't bad. Now this is where I'm going to have an issue. Because the lead's not long enough. Nope. I need to get on their website and see how long this freaking lead is. If I had to take a guess, I'd say it's like 5 foot. Oh, that's nice. Perfect. That was stuck in my boot. Nice and pointy. Alright, let's see how square it is. See how square it isn't over here. Dang. That's actually pretty daggone good. Oh, all right. So, we got the foundation down. What I'm going to call the foundation. Feel free to call it whatever you like. And of course, as soon as I get done, I just noticed I have a nice framing square, what I could have been using. Something like this size, definitely would like to have a bigger framing square, but I think this is the biggest one I have. So even if I had a bigger one, it'd probably even show you, it'd just be easier to have a longer, bigger one of the framing squares to see exactly how off you really are. But this is a mattress lift kit. Nobody's going to see it but me. So we're not going to worry about it, okay? We're just going to keep it moving. I checked this side. I'm going to check the rest just to see how bad it really is. Which, to be honest, so far... Ooh, that side's pretty bad. Okay, here's another trick that you can also do is get you guys a vis here. Alright, there you go. Now you can see. What the heck? My battery's almost dead. Alright, here's another trick you can do. Yep, of course that's going to be in my way. Why wouldn't it be? Try this again, because that looks like it's got a heck of a gap on this, but none of the rest do. Could be the way I cut it. Could be that I'm working on a very uneven floor. Could be a lot of things. You sorry sucker. Alright, we are at 105 1/4 that way. And we are at 104 and 3/8. So with that, we are definitely out of square, almost an inch. So what I'm going to do is try and square that up better. So what I'm going to attempt to do, use this here ratchet strap. These things come pretty handy in a lot of different scenarios. Now let's check our measurements again. All right, now this side is at 105 1/4. Can't really measure that because I have the ratchet strap on this side. And I just realized you guys probably didn't see anything I just did. So, there's a better visual. Alright, so what I did was, so where this ratchet strap is, this was the side that was showing a bigger number. I don't know what else to call it. So I shrank that by putting the ratchet strap down, cranking that down. So now this side, the short side, is showing, what was it, 105 1/4, I believe. So honestly, that should be where I want it to be. The only issue is I can't measure. Well, let me see if I can't go inside. So I have to measure both sides if I do that. Which, not really ideal. Anywho, because if I take the ratchet strap off, it is going to spring back most likely where it was before. So what I can honestly start doing now is start putting braces in, at least one in the center. But I don't really want to do that because I don't know if it's actually square. So what I'm going to try to do is I am going to release this and most likely it's going to spring right back to where it was previously. Did spring some. Let's see if it held. So now it's saying 104 3/4. So if I had to guess, it did not hold what I wanted it to hold. Yep, this side's at 105 exactly. So we might have to get creative, which would be nice if I had one or knew somebody that had a plasma table. I could literally have them fab me up a, I don't know, or if I had a big washer, I can square it off at the bottom, put it on that side, square up another one that way. Yeah. All right. Which side was the long way? This side was the long way, I believe. Which it's not as bad as it was. So that's good. Yeah. All right, guys. So we're running into an issue. And that's with the camera. So I don't know if it overheated or the battery died. I honestly don't think that the battery could have died, because usually it stays charged for quite a while. So I don't know if it overheated or the battery actually died. So what could have happened is the last video I made, the camera did overheat. Might have messed up the battery. Or the camera overheated again. I'm not too sure. But I don't expect anything less over here at the old Filthy Fab Shop YouTube channel. Just how life rolls over here, you know what I'm saying? So, while the camera was cooling, I decided to edit the video that I've already had. While this was cooling, and while it was cooling and editing, the battery was charged to 100%. Let's see what it says right now. Still says 100%, so that's good. So, I'm definitely going to have to keep a mental note of that, to keep an eye on the camera to see if it's overheating or the battery's just draining way too quickly. And also, I had to delete a large section of the video because I forgot to turn my mic on. Even though I have my receiver facing me, which I could see it clearly, you know, the indicators going crazy on the receiver. And plus I have a audio setting on the little flippy flop screeny thing. All right, so as I previously said, I am leaving for Pennsylvania in the morning. So I still need to pack and do all the things that I have to do for leaving for, I'd say I'd be gone at least a week. I'm hoping I'll be back Friday to finish this mattress lift kit up. So, whoa, tripping hazard around here. So what I have right now is I didn't lose as much footage as I thought I did. That was one of the reasons why I went in there, to let the camera cool and edit the video to see where I was left off at. So I will show you. As you can see there, I put a brace across here. That way, eventually, I can remove, oh, there we go, that ratchet strap, and hopefully it is somewhat square. Hopefully being somewhat square, I don't have very high expectations. It is literally just a mattress lift kit, as I said multiple times. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and run a bead down here, basically weld this in, and then I will remove the ratchet strap to see how bad it is. So let's get to that. Can't forget the ground, because I normally do that. Alright. Can't really see on if you can see what I'm doing. Honestly, if you don't have one of these foam mat things, these things are great, especially if you work on the ground a lot, nice and thick. Helps with the old knees here. Make sure my hood is on. Alright, let's see. Might have to start on this other side, because that clamp is kind of in my way a little bit. I've noticed that my ratchet strap is super loose right now. So that's probably not a good sign, but who cares? We're going with it anyway. Alright. Let's see, that's good for that side. Let's move over to this side. Do a little downhill action here. I do like running downhill because usually it's nice and flush instead of running it uphill. Another one of my personal preference. Do as you want. Alright, moment of truth. Yeah, that was loose. So that's really not a good sign. Just see where we're at. I'm hoping it's not too terrible. Oh, please don't be too bad. But like I said, I don't have high expectation because that ratchet strap was loose. Alright, so looks like 104.78 that side. What? No way. 104.78. I will happily take that. I am not gonna lie, I am super shocked that I even got it square. So I'm gonna weld her up. Guys, I am so shocked that I got that square. First try. I thought for sure it was going to be off at least a little bit. And to be honest, if it was off a little bit, I was going to run it. Oh, I'm out of lead. Come on, old girl. I'm just going to be honest. I cannot believe how short this lead is. I'm going to measure it. At least try to, anyway. Now I'm curious. Because this thing is insanely short. Alright. See if we can get try and get a rough estimate on how long this unit is. Alright. So we're just going to go from the actual black lead itself, not the connector and not the handle itself. So just the black. Okay. It's definitely not going to go as easy as I expected. I'd say from just the black part, roughly 8 feet. From this, from here to here, seems to be 8 feet. That doesn't seem accurate. It seems heck of a lot shorter than that. I guess it's not terrible. I would like a longer one. So sometime in the future, I will definitely be upgrading that. Because honestly, I would like to have it pushed in the corner somewhere and be able to, you know, kind of almost reach anywhere in this small area. Because what I'm working with, this shop is roughly saying 11 feet by I ran out of tape. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, 16 feet. So, the old hack shack is 11 feet, and I'll say roughly 16 feet. Which ain't the smallest, but it sure ain't the biggest. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these clamps. And then zip down there, zip down there. That way it's got somewhat of strength. Hopefully it holds its shape. If not, I'm still going to weld it up. Because, like I said, I still have to pack and do the laundry thing. Get ready for Pennsylvania. I think it's funny, at least for me, when I start, every time I'm doing a project, I'm already thinking of other projects I could be doing. Like as soon as I finish this, I already got other things in mind that I want to do. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I actually seem to enjoy it because it already gets the gears rolling, gets the ideas flowing. And I will say, because I'm sure I will get called out by somebody, yes, I should be wearing a long sleeve shirt. I am just in a time crunch, in a hurry. And that's how you always end up getting hurt, is being in a hurry. So if you take anything from this video, when you're doing anything like this, make sure you have a good enough time window to where you're not rushed and cut corners, because that's where you make mistakes and that's how you get hurt. Do as I say, not as I do. That is what grinder and paint is. It's to make you a welder that you ain't. Definitely not proud of that weld. I will say that. And I will say, it is always easier to have pretty welds when you're using a workbench. You know, you can be sitting in a comfy chair. You know, of course you can make your welds look good. It's always the one when you're out of position is the ones, if you can make your welds look good when you're out of position, then I would consider you can call yourself a welder. Until then, doesn't matter, because you are as good as you say you are. If you're happy with what you're putting down, who cares what anybody else says? I am the type of guy that absolutely hates working off the ground. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm cool with all the welds on this thing so far other than that ugly one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over and actually sometimes you got to step back and what's the word I'm looking for? Words are hard. Sometimes you gotta step back and access. No, that's not right. Whatever. Sometimes you gotta step back and be like, you know what? I could flip this mattress lift kit up and weld standing up, because that's always better than obviously what I was just doing. I'm definitely gonna have to move the camera for that weld because that is way too close to the camera for my comfort. So now we're doing a horizontal weld here. Oh, forgot. It wouldn't be a filthy fab video if I didn't forget my ground. I kind of bubbled up quite a bit. It's all right. Oh, looky there. I think this thing's got wheels on it. Damn, still short. We're gonna have to weld this one left-handed. Actually, not terrible for welding that left-handed. All right. I'm gonna have to move you guys because that would be way too close for my comfort to weld that. Where are you looking? Way too close to the camera for me. I don't know if the camera picks up, but that spool of wire makes god-awful noise. Alright, so now let's see. Do that corner there. I am going to knock that weld off just a hair. Okay, needed a little more finessing than what I was expecting. Old hog leg on there, how to get rid of. Oh yeah. Nothing like the smell of burnt arm hair. Gotta love it. So now I need to do that side, but I'm sure it's not gonna reach. No. Good thing we ain't building a ship and I can easily move this thing. I'm curious, does Miller do the same thing? Do they have, like, do they go out of their way to make the smallest lead possible, like Everlast does for a welding lead? Or is that just a Everlast thing? There we go. I'm not gonna lie, this is still not very delightful. I should have ground that side down too. And it shows. I will say the flapper is not very good at knocking welds down. Alright, let's take the time to actually put a face shield on, because that is going to be a minute. You know what? I really don't want to mess up my Rat Fink cool poster. Oh, don't mind the gas can down here. I don't know if you could even see it. Yeah, not a great idea. Just noticed that. Oh, that is a high little booger there. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see. What can we do here? Is my camera still on? Okay, just checking. Ooh, that's got a big bow in it. All right, we could fancy it up some other time. I gotta get back on schedule here. Of course. Yeah. Like I said, I am way behind schedule. Got another idea. So that side, so it's really just the corners. Definitely when I get back from Pennsylvania, one of the things that I'm going to do is clean up around here. Because there ain't nothing worse than having a small shop plus it being dirty. Makes it even feel even more small. Alright, now I can see what I'm doing. I don't really like that style ground paint either. It's not the worst. I've definitely seen way worse out there. Oh yeah, that's got a pretty good sized gap. It's not wanting to take. So do the old a lot of people are like, that ain't welding. Well, guess what? Now I'll go back over it with an actual weld. Boom. It's actually welded to me. All right, now, ooh, I'm gonna have to do the same thing on the back side. Not really sure what happened there, but it happened. Wide open spaces. All right. Then later on, off camera, I will grind it out. Grind it, make it look better. Because I'm not sure you guys, my camera's about to overheat again. Yeah, it's flashing. Okay, I'm gonna try and hurry up here. And actually, you know what? Okay, since my camera is flashing, overheating again, I'm going to end this video and we will continue, I'd say, hopefully maybe next weekend. Can't really do a whole lot. The thing is going to shut off any minute. It is flashing at me, yelling at me, telling me it's about to overheat. With that being said, peace and love. See you in the next one.